Jeff, I got to tell you, so we just heard Myles Garrett speak in his press conference, and we've both been kind of wondering if he would address the speeding situation, and I think that's what everybody was.
Yeah, he addressed it.
I got to tell you, I didn't
not
listen.
Addressing it.
It was hard for me to listen to anything after the first three questions because Myles Garrett just blew the opportunity to kill the story. He absolutely could have just ended the entire story about speeding. All he had to do was come out and go, you know what, guys? I made a mistake. I know there was an issue before. I'm lucky to be alive right now. I got caught up in the moment. I was driving. There was no one else around, and the speed got away from me. I apologize. I don't recommend to anybody out there to drive over 100 miles an hour, and I just apologize, and that's the end of it. If he would have just said that, the story would have ended. It would be over. There's no follow-up questions on that. Somebody may have asked another, and Myles could say, I already told you guys I'm sorry. I wish I wouldn't have done it. And that would have been the end of it. And I'm sorry, and Ken Carman's 100% right. He's not a leader. A leader would have stepped out there today and just said, I'm sorry that I did that. And that story is over. Just end it. Now,
Andy,
by not saying anything, this is my finish here, by not saying anything in the beginning and just saying, well, I'm talking, even if he would have just said, my attorneys have told me I can't talk about it, I think the story probably would have died a little bit more. I don't get it. I love Myles Garrett. He is the best football player on this team. Step up and just be a little bit of a leader and say, I made a mistake. Everybody wants to forgive you for it. I think we all understand. Look, no one really wants to do that. Why wouldn't you have just said, I'm sorry, and we could have moved on, and we wouldn't be talking about it at all. It'd be over.
He killed the story anyway by not talking about it.
I don't think he did.
Yep. Nobody's going to ask him again. Nobody's going to ask him again. Should he have talked about it? You're dang right he should have talked about it. But he killed the story too by not talking about it.
I think it brings up more questions about his role in the organization, how he feels about other players. What's up?
I have to cut if you want to play.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, let's play the cut again. Let's play the cut.
I'd honestly rather talk about football on this team than anything I'm doing off field.
But still, people want to know about that.
People want to know a lot of things, but I try to keep my personal life personal. I'd rather focus on this team when I can.
The problem, and now you're bringing up the fact you want to keep your personal life, then don't be begging for a trade in the offseason when now it looks like everybody said, well, the only reason he's still here is because of the money. I just face the music. We all make mistakes. Everybody wants to forgive.
He doesn't make mistakes on this. He's a habitual speeder. According to reports, he's had 8 speeding tickets since he's come to the Browns. Have you had 8 speeding tickets in the last 8 years?
No.
Neither have I. Myles has a problem when it comes to speed on the highways. It's a problem. He needs to stop doing it before he hurts others again. And, I sure hope I'm not on 71 when he goes blown by. I do. Andy, that's unnerving. When cars go flying by you at a high rate of speed, that's unnerving. Any little misstep by someone whose doors are getting blown off by somebody going 100, you just happen to move. Let's say you're going to pass somebody who's in front of you going 65, and you want to go 70. So you're going to pass that person, right?
Right.
And you look in your rearview mirror, you look in their side mirror, that person's, there's a car, but that's way back there. And you reasonably move out to pass that car. Well, you don't know if that car is going 100. And if it is, it's on you, in a heartbeat. And that's problematic. It could be really bad. Myles should have addressed it. And he needs to slow down before he hurts somebody or himself again.
This is where we get into these conversations. And I think I say this just from the perspective of getting to know a lot of these guys along the way. And it doesn't matter what sport. And it's just, people always say, oh, they got away with that because they're that. Because they're an athlete. Because they make a lot of money. And then, Myles kind of was getting irritated about, yes, I want Myles to talk about football. But I just needed him for 30 seconds to go, you know what, kids, it's not the right thing to do. I'm sorry I was wrong. End of story. It's over. And Jeff, when you say it's over, it's probably over for him. You're right, he's not. But now it lingers out here. He doesn't care. But out here, people are like, they have the same assumption that you do, that he's a habitual speeder.
Well, he is.
He's got a problem.
That's a fact.
Yeah,
that's a fact.
So he got you wanted to say that he got a little, I don't know.
The first one when they asked about it and his response that he had to the speeding situation. Again, if you missed it,
was Jeff Shadell.
This is the first time that it came up with Jeff Shadell.
I'd honestly rather talk about football on this team than anything I'm doing off field.
But still, I mean, people want to know about that.
People want to know a lot of things, but I try to keep my personal life personal. I'd rather focus on this team when I can.
Jeff Shadell then tried to follow up again.
What kind of a leadership does that show when you get pulled over by the cops?
Again, you're asking the same question, and I've answered it 2 different times. So I'm gonna need you to ask a different question so I can focus on this team and not this headline you're trying to get out of this question you're asking.
There was only one headline. People just want to know if you're sorry. That's it. Isn't that it, Jeff? Am I wrong? If I'm wrong, just tell me.
I think it's bigger than that. It's not all well and good if he says, "Yeah, I screwed up. I'm sorry." Well, of course you are. You got caught by the cops. Again, it became a major problem. The problem is, Andy, he's a habitual speeder, and my fear is that he hurts somebody or he hurts himself. Again, that happened before.
How many games did he miss that last time? I forgot.
I don't recall. But he was hurt, so was his passenger. And, heaven forbid that he kills somebody. I mean, seriously. This isn't the same type of deal as Henry Ruggs, because Henry was in a city and going like 120. That's ridiculous. Myles is in a car that's built to go 100 miles an hour, but you don't do that on a public highway. You just don't. I mean, it's
in a city, especially.
Well,
there are places in this country where you can.
He was out in the country,
right?
I mean,
Strongsville's not exactly.
71's open enough that you're driving in a Ferrari and blah blah blah.
If there's nobody on the road, I get
right.
that too.
And it's 2 a.m. I get that. That still doesn't make it right. It's still illegal. He still has to pay a fine, and I fear for him. I fear for anybody who might. I fear for anybody who's an innocent bystander who might get caught up in something that happened. And that, I wish he would have said something today. He didn't, but Andy, I still think he killed the story.
Yeah, I don't think so.
We would have still been talking about it had he said he was sorry. I mean, what is he supposed to say there? I screwed up. I won't do it again. Well, we've heard that before. Mary Kay has written stories where he has said, my family members are trying to get me to slow down. Okay. Well, there's one way you're going to slow down. I don't get driving 100. I could get driving and getting a speeding ticket on 71 at 2 a.m. after a game. I could understand that. Okay? We've all gone faster than the speed limit in a car. We've all done that. Mm-hmm. And you can say, well, you get 10 miles an hour, blah blah blah, whatever. It doesn't matter. You broke the law because you went over the speed limit. It's just did the police officer want to pull you over? Did he not? He's got to slow down, Andy. I mean, that's a problem. It's a public nuisance, is what it is, and it could become a public hazard and a public catastrophe. And if he wants that on his shoulders, well, good luck to you. I mean, seriously. I mean, what could happen? People could die. That's what happens. I see guys go by me on the bullet bikes, Mm-hmm. It's like every time they do, I think, don't your mom's gonna just be crushed when you hit a rock and you go flying. These guys, they're public highways, and people should just not do that. You want to speed, Myles? Go to Mid Ohio. I mean, become a race car driver. Learn how to do it. Get trained. Do it. But don't do it on my highways.
All right, we'll take some phone calls on this. You heard Myles Garrett. He didn't want to say anything.
Say a word.
He didn't want to say anything about it. So, and then I spent the next 2-3 minutes just thinking about wouldn't it have just been okay for him to get out there and just say, you know what, I'm sorry. I wish this wouldn't happen, and I'm really going to check my speed.
Doesn't solve the problem.
Well, I've got to check my speed moving forward. Coach has addressed the entire team about it. I mean, and Kevin Stefanski said that straight out. I talked to him, and I talked to the entire team about this. Myles had a golden opportunity to kind of set things straight today, and he chose not to. Give me a big picture on what we're talking about here with Myles.
Andy, it's pointless for us to sit here and say he should have apologized. He ended the story, whether he apologized or whether he did what he did. It's pointless for us to say slow down. He's got to slow down for his own sake. But until he decides to do that, it's not probably going to change. I hope he does, man. I mean, could you imagine if Myles is going, and Myles just might be a great driver and can drive 100 miles an hour. It's not allowed on our highways. This isn't about his driving ability. It's just not allowed. And I sure hope that nothing bad happens, because that would just be tragic.
My biggest problem with this whole thing is just the lack of accountability from someone who wants to claim a leadership role.
Well, but he keeps going, Dan.
He's not a leader. That's okay.
But by stepping in front of a microphone and saying, I'm sorry, that wouldn't make him accountable.
Ken 100% convinced me. He's just not a leader. He's a football player. He's just not. That's all there is to it.
But do you need him to be? Fine. You need him to be a great football player. Yeah. I mean, that's what I don't need leaders. My leaders are teachers and ministers and parents.
No, but don't tell me you're a leader then. If you're not going to take accountability for the things that you do wrong, then don't tell me you're a leader. Don't feed me those words. Don't feed me that hogwash or anything like that comes with it. Just go, hey, I'm not a leader. Do what I do on the football field. Follow the people that you care around you for true leadership in life. And leave it at that. That's my thing. Is then, all right, if you're not going to take accountability and walk around like you're infallible, then fine. Fine. You're not a leader. Don't tell me you are then.
Anthony's in Brunswick. Hi, Anthony. How are you?
Hello, Anthony.
Hey, Andy. Hey, Jeff.
Hey.
Big fan of the show.
Thank you.
Just wanted to call in. Honestly, I feel like, let's leave the personal stuff there to an extent. If this was a Judkins or Watson situation, that's obviously completely different. But if Myles goes out there and has a 20-sack season and wins Defensive Player of the Year, we're not going to be talking about how fast he was going in January. You know what I'm saying?
Unless he does it again.
Agreed. I think that's his own personal prerogative. It's like we can sit here and tell him we're blue in our face, slow down. But if he's not going to take the initiative, then, that's his personal thing that he wants to do. So,
Anthony, I'd make the argument, Anthony, we're not even going to talk about it if he gets another speeding ticket. I think the only time it becomes...
Yeah, we would. Everybody would.
The only time it becomes absolutely huge is if he actually hurts somebody again. It happened when he was going slower on a rural road, but if he's going 100 and somebody gets hurt or killed, then it becomes a tragic story.
And he had an accident before. That's the other problem. Like, we all sat there and people were like, okay, he's okay. That's all we care. Like, people praying for him when he rolled his car over and his passenger.
He got hurt.
Man. Jim's in Strongsville. Hi, Jim.
Hello, James.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Jeff, where'd you get that horse and carriage that you're driving around these days? You can't go more than like 15 miles an hour in that thing.
Andy's seen the vehicle I drive now. It actually has a little giddy up, Jim. But I don't have it go giddy up.
Listen, I don't want to get into whatever. I'm not going to debate the speed limit or anything like that because, whatever. My problem with the whole thing was like he just didn't show any maturity. Come on, you've got to be mature. Take the leadership. Okay, fine, he's not a leader. How about be a mature adult? Yeah, you know what? I made a mistake. I really need to work on. Even if it's just BS, guys. Say what a leader. Say what somebody. You're not going to see Tom Brady. You're not going to see any real leader of a team do that. They're going to stand up. They're going to take the shots. They're going to answer the questions. They're going to move on. To me, it was like a lack of maturity. Listen, you've got this big paycheck, Myles. I'm sorry. That means you have to answer these questions. That's what comes with the money. That's what the money's for.
So it comes with the job. It's I agree with Jim.
Don't act all annoyed because you're being asked about it. You're getting paid a lot of money. You wanted all that money. You went public last year with it. You had no problem using the media when you wanted to get what you wanted to get. Well, part of the job is that when they ask you uncomfortable questions, you need to stand up there and answer it. That's all I want is be a mature adult. And to me, he wasn't a mature adult. That's something I would expect out of my 16-year-old making excuses for why he did what he did. Hey, come on, grow up, act like an adult. The team deserves better. You just can't. You got to be better than that. That's all I have to say.
Jim, thank you. Appreciate it.
He knew the question was coming. He knew it was going to be the first question.
Oh, he knew it was coming.
He should have handled it better than he did.
Can we play the cut again, just so everybody's up to speed, just so they know exactly what he did and didn't say? I mean, he had the opportunity, his first press conference since the incident, and he chose to say this.
I'd honestly rather talk about football on this team than anything I'm doing off field.
But still, I mean, people want to know about that.
People want to know a lot of things, but I try to keep my personal life personal, and I'd rather focus on this team when I can.
I'd rather talk about football too. Jeff, you?
He has a somewhat valid point. He wants to keep his personal things personal, except he's not in a personal business. He's in a very public profession, and people, right or wrong, look up to professional athletes and view them as role models sometimes. And I wish he would have handled it differently. Bottom line is, I just wish the guy would slow down. I don't want to hear him getting caught speeding again, or anything about him speeding. I fear for his safety, and I fear for the people who are driving around him.